Difference between short-term and long-term memory. The main difference between short-term and long-term memory is that the short-term memory stores data temporarily while the long-term memory stores data permanently. Moreover, the short-term memory is volatile while the long-term memory is non-volatile. Memory is the component in a computer that stores data and information. There are two types of memory as short-term memory and long-term memory. The data in the short-term memory disappears when the device is switched off, so the data is temporary. Furthermore, the data is accessible only within a short term. On the other hand, the data in long-term memory does not erase when the device is switched off. The data is permanent, and it is possible to access the data for a long term. What is short-term memory? The data in the short-term memory is temporary. In other words, data is erased when the device is powered off. This type of memory is referred to as volatile memory. Therefore, the data is not accessible long-term. Random access memory, RAM, is an example of short-term memory. When the computer performs calculations, the RAM stores the data temporarily. Moreover, it stores input data, immediate results of the program and other information. The measurement of RAM is megabytes, MB, or gigabytes, GB. It is a considerable factor to determine the speed of the device. More RAM maximizes the performance of the device. Some users add extra RAM to their computers to improve performance. What is long-term memory? The data in the long-term memory is permanent. In other words, data does not erase when the device is powered off. This type of memory is known as non-volatile memory. Therefore, the data is accessible long-term. Hard drive is an example of long-term memory. A hard disk consists of one or more platters, and the data is written to it using a magnetic head. It can store data such as pictures, music, videos, text documents or files. It also stores files of the operating system and software programs. Latest hard drives can have a storage size of several gigabytes, GB, to terabits, TB. Usually, hard drives are internal, but they can also have external hard drives which can expand the available disk size. The solid-state drive, SSD, is an alternative to hard disk drives. It is faster than a usual hard drive. Difference between short-term and long-term memory. Definition. The short-term memory is a type of memory in a computer that allows storing data temporarily. The long-term memory is a type of memory in a computer that allows storing data permanently. Memory type. Short-term memory is volatile. The data will erase when the device is powered off. Long-term memory is non-volatile. So, the data will not erase when the device is switched off. Functionality. Short-term memory stores data temporarily. Long-term memory stores data permanently. Speed. Usually, short-term memory is fast than long-term memory. Examples. RAM is an example of short-term memory. Hard drive is an example of long-term memory. Memory is a component in the computer to store data and information. The difference between short-term and long-term memory is that the short-term memory stores data temporarily while the long-term memory stores data permanently.